solution will be for him to secure another home for Rosio. I know, of course, it is expensive. Don't think that I'm talking without common sense. I know it is expensive, but I still know Maro can do it. He can. So that Rosio can have her own space. If she wakes up and wants to walk all over. Greetings to you all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending with your time zone. And of course, the time that you will watch this video. How is everyone? How am I? Of course, I'm good, as you can see. And I thank God for this beautiful moment. To you that is new here, welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and becoming part of this family. My returning subscribers, of course, you know you're the best. What would I do without you? Just know your like, your view, your comment, everything nice and good that you do to this channel, including correction, is never taken for granted. My moderators, those that have joined my membership, those that do super chat me, asante, asante, sana. My people, I'm here to talk about a few matters that are ongoing on the YouTube streets. So let's start with the fight between David Jr. and Max One. Actually, it was not like a physical fight. It was more of an encounter, you know, quarreling here and there, throwing words left and right, and a lot of commotion because of what, you know, was generally taking place. So I want to begin by letting us know that when it comes to, you know, the grading of roads, this should be a government initiative. Do you understand? Right here in Kenya, it is usually a government initiative, either a county government initiative, or it can be the national government, you know, plan. And most of the time, we all know our government does not do what it's supposed to do. Like, for example, there's a day I did a video on my way to school. I know you remember. And I showed you the roads, guys. Hey, sometimes you can be like, how will you get to your place of work? Sometimes you're forced to carry up to 2 to 3 shoes. Do you understand? So that once you get to school, you change and, you know, wear something clean and presentable. After all, you know, you're not going to the farm. So you need to be presentable. Do you understand? And therefore, when the government fails to do such, sometimes you have community members coming together and doing what we saw Maro doing back then. You remember before Maro brought the Mercedes-Benz to the village, he had to do the road himself because you may wait and wait forever and the government will never do anything. Guys, if you have never been to such places, just come to Africa, come to Kenya. You will be shocked. Of course, I have friends of mine that stay abroad, and most of the time when they look at the roads that we have here, they're kind of shocked. They ask a lot of questions. Where does the tax go that we pay and such? But this is Africa. And most of the time, our leaders do not take up the responsibilities that they are supposed, you know, to do, and especially matters to do with infrastructure and such. And that is why you'll find that sometimes a community can come together and decide to get a grader, and then at least the road can be worked on so that at least it can be better. Do you understand? And that is what we saw Mara doing, right? Do you remember that time? Drop your comment right here, so let's have a conversation. Let me know whether you remember Mara doing that. The other day we have David Jr. who decided to do the same thing. And from my own understanding, from what I have gathered on the streets, is that people approached David Jr. and they asked him if he can do that. He asked them how much does it cost. They gave him a figure and he said he's gonna do halfway, like pay halfway. And maybe these other people, you know, can top up the remaining amount. That is what I gathered. I don't know what you gathered. Because, you know, guys, what I know is not what you know. So let me know how all this thing, you know, came into existence. Okay, so David Jr. got the money, went to talk to the driver of the grader. Now, the conflict, according to me, comes in this way. This grader, the person that is in charge of is Max One. Do you understand? He is the PA of the local MCA. Do you understand? So he's in charge. And from what we saw on the streets is that at the end of the day, the so-called tractor, because that is how it was being referred to, the tractor, you know, it's parked at the police station. Do you understand? For safety. And every day, Max One has to go there, get the tractor, and instruct the driver where to go to. Mary TV chooses to look at it in this way. You let me know what you think about it. I feel the conflict came in such a way. David Jr. went directly to the driver. He never consulted Max One. We all know they don't see eye to eye. Do you understand? And I feel that is where David Jr. kind of messed up. He did not consult Max One because Max One is the one that is in charge of these projects, locally in the village. Do you understand? And what I am saying in short is that David Jr. did not follow protocol. Do you understand? That is one. Number two, when the driver was instructed by David Jr. to go and grade the road, the driver was paid. Do you understand? So the driver pocketed the money without informing Max One. That is how it works, by the way. You can think whatever you want to think, but that is how it works. It was like a side hustle for the driver of this particular tractor. And therefore, this driver did not inform Max One. Do you understand? That is how the conflict is coming in. On the other hand, from what I heard from his own people, that is the likes of Mayani, he said Max One was given money, for these roads to be graded. But he has been choosing the roads that he has been working on. But these specific roads, he has never bothered about. Allegedly, money that was given to him for this project, he pocketed. Of course, he ate. That is how we say it, or that is it. He ate the money. Do you understand? And that is why David Jr. decided to do what he did. Of course, what David Jr. did was good because the road is not just meant for him. My people, I don't know what is the biggest problem with people in Nyabohanse. Like the road that I go to school, that I use when I'm going to school. The road is not good. Do you understand? It is only that nowadays I don't kind of shoot, videos to show you how the road is. But remember, if someone comes in and grades that road, I am a beneficiary. Do you understand? My work is going to be easy. We have a lot of people here that are farmers, that plant maize and whatever. Once you harvest your maize and it goes through that road, you become a beneficiary. Do you understand? Those people that have their own vehicles, their tires are going to be saved. Do you understand? Because of the good roads. I don't understand what is actually the biggest problem with people in Nyabohanse. Because sometimes they fight what they should not be fighting, for. When it comes to infrastructure, there is no way it can benefit a specific person. Mark you, David Jr. used his own money to work on this road. Why would Max One come and attack him? And if you look at it from a critical point of view, and if you understand how Kenyan politics works, Max One had to go after David Jr. because David Jr. is kinda exposing him for not doing what was expected of him. My people, hey, you should come to these villages so that you don't only watch on YouTube. Do you understand? Sometimes these roads of ours here, they are graded. And then they go and carry, I don't know, some soil from wherever. And they say that is maram. And they come and pour on the road. My friends, if it rains, it will be very hard for you to get, through. It will be very hard for you to walk in such a road. It will be very hard for vehicles and motorbikes to go through. That is the truth of the matter, and that is the reality of Kenya. And especially when it comes to such matters. Max One felt the need to come and attack David Jr., which is not in order. I had a lot of people supporting David Jr. in that video, unless I'm the one who had my own stuff. In fact, my people, this is what I call lack of development mind. Do you understand? Something that is going to benefit everyone. Why would it bring such fracas? Do you understand? This guy Max One should just let David Jr. be. So many people applauded David Jr. And there are those that started chanting and saying, oh, David Jr. is the next MCA. Do you understand? If David Jr. wants to vie for a political seat in Nyabohanse, he will pass very early in the morning. Like by 8, David Jr. will already have taken the seat. Do you understand? Or rather the position. Instead of people fighting, why can't they join hands and work together? Because this is not a good picture for Nyabohanse. My people, I was so shocked. I took my time to go through so many comment sections. Guess what? There's a comment that kept on repeating itself in various channels. And guys, I have said about it in one or two of my videos in the past. One day, something will happen in Nyabohanse. Something that will not be good for the eye, if you know what I mean. Because what we are seeing in Nyabohanse is open hatred. People are fighting each other just because of a lot of stuff. One day someone will wake up and they'll do something very bad that nobody will ever want to be, like a witness to. If people are not very careful in Nyabohanse, that is where they are heading to. Remember, in Nyabohanse, we've had people being attacked. We've had people's property disappearing mysteriously. We've had a lot of, stuff that is not palatable. We've had a lot of, people fighting back and forth, matters to do with police station. It will reach a time when someone will be pushed to the wall. And the outcome will not be something, that will be forgotten in the streets. And that is why I'm saying, these guys in Nyabohanse, they need to stop all these shenanigans. Let them focus on what they're supposed to do. Let them focus. Otherwise, it will not end well. And still, people will come out to blame YouTube. Do you understand? And once they start talking about YouTube, they'll bring Marwa in. It is what it is. Do you understand? So my people, if you've come this far, have you liked the video? What are you waiting for? On other news, Grandma came out and spoke about the matter to do with the 3,100 Kenyan shillings. And there's something that Grandma said that, of course, made me oh, okay, Grandma, you now know what you are doing. Do you understand? Remember I did a video and said the only person that can keep away the naysayers, it is only Grandma herself. Do you understand? She is the owner of the house. That is her home. So it is up to her to learn to say no. It is up to her to learn to say enough is enough. And I'm so happy Grandma has taken this step. She has realized this is just 3,100 Kenyan shillings. Very little amount of money that can mess her up. I'm so happy because she knows Marwa took her from, abject poverty to where she is as we speak. We all know the story of Grandma. We all remember that madhouse that she used to stay in. We all know all the details about Grandma. And it is good. Grandma, knows it is Marwa's team that are supporting her. It has always been Marwa. Do you understand? And that is why back then I asked, where were these naysayers before Marwa began the project? Why would they sit and wait until Marwa begins something? That is when they come in. And they want to bring in a lot of confusion. Like this 3,100 Kenyan shillings. Guys, I'm not saying it is like a small amount of money. It's not. That is good money. But Grandma cannot just be lured by any person. You cannot just walk in her home and, give her money or shopping or whatever. Grandma knows her place. And she said it very well. She will not allow anyone to make her and Marwa become enemies. I'm so happy. She knows it. And she knows what to do. She said it. She will not allow anyone to make or create enmity between her and Marwa. Because she knows, if it wasn't for Marwa, that house would not be there. If it wasn't for Marwa, we would not see, Brian in school. If it wasn't for Marwa, all these other good things that Grandma is getting from Marwa subscribers, she couldn't have seen like this. Hey, my people, it is all about using your own brain. How many times have I used the phrase, know bread is buttered. And it is also prudent to know who butters your bread, so that you don't end up confusing and messing yourself. Do you understand? It is good that she did not keep the money. Wherever the money went to, fine and well. As long as she's not going against Timarwa. I saw people coming out to criticize her. You know, they were like, oh, grandma has joined this cult. She's being controlled by Marwa. Oh, she's being controlled by Marwa's funds. Nobody's controlling her. What grandma has done is to use her brain. And, use the brains very, very well. Without allowing this external noise to influence her. Do you understand? Because the naysayers, their work is to identify a person. Once they get hold of you, they milk you, they'll just leave you like Percy. You saw her the other day crying here that her children are being mentioned left and right. It is just simple. If I do not want my children to go to my neighbor's house, I'll tell them and I'll ensure they stay in this house with me. Hey, they'll not get out of the door. Do you understand? If that is what I want. If Percy knows very well, her children are always going to Marwa's home. They are eating there. Why can't she not take charge and let her children stay in her home? Many people came out to tell her she's a careless mother. She should just feed her children and ensure that they are well taken care of, so that they don't cross over and go to Marwa's place. Do you understand? She has herself to blame. After all, what is it that Marwa never did to her? They did everything best that they could for her. And if she's a prudent woman, she should just concentrate on what is of importance to her as we speak. Rather than coming out to say, oh, she has never told her children to go to Marwa's home. If you feed your children, if they're well taken care of, why would they go to their neighbors' homes? Let me tell you guys, if you come here in Kenya and go around the homesteads that we have here, you'll find neighbors' children. And most of the time, children that their parents have neglected them. Like they don't prepare for them lunch and such. You'll find them always hovering around, neighbors' homes. Because they know when they go maybe to a certain home, they'll eat. Like for example, in the villa, there's plenty of food. Do you understand? So those children are so certain they'll get food, and by the time they come out of that place, they'll be full. Let Percy stop, crying here on the streets, seeking for pity. Or she said she can't sell her land so that she can complete her house. If you want to ask people to donate for you, Percy, go direct to the point. Don't corner. If you want your people to donate so that you can, buy, rather complete your construction, go direct to the point. Don't start talking about the land. Oh, they want you to sell them to sell the land so that maybe they can give you money and then you complete your house. It can't work. It doesn't work like that. My people, I don't know what to think about this part. Let me know at the comment section. Please don't forget to like the video. Liking is free of charge. There are no hidden charges. You can also subscribe, by the way, if you've never thought of subscribing. Guys, did you watch or have you watched Rosio's latest video? I watched her. She did an emotional video. She talked about feeling lonely. She also talked about maybe not having friends around and not getting the attention that she needs. Of course, we know she is not getting the attention that she needs from Marwa. And my people, let me tell you, it is so obvious. These are two people from two different, worlds. Like their worlds are apart. This is an interracial marriage. There's a time I came out here and talked about interracial marriage. And some of you are, came out and you're like, oh, don't call that interracial marriage. It is an interracial marriage. What kind of marriage is that if it's not interracial? And they're not the first interracial couple. There are so many. We have Chef Matiko and the wife. We have Gabivas and, the guy. And so many all over the world. It happens, guys. And once we have such types of marriages, there's a lot that people need to learn and relearn and unlearn. Do you understand? So that you can feel like you belong there or you are at home. I saw a lot of comments in the comment section of Rosio, And I want to just go through some of the comments that, you know, and then I'm not going to be like exact. Most of the comments I'm going to paraphrase. Majority of the comments, talked about Rosio being lonely because of the distance from her family. Guys, how it works. If today I feel lonely, my parents are very close. They are right here in the same village where I am. I'll walk and go to my parents' home. My elder sister stays in the same town where I am. It will be very easy for me to go there, and spend time with my family. And I'll feel good because I'm very close to them in terms of distance. Look at Rosio. She talks about being lonely. That tells you that, number one, she may not be having a good relation with some of the family members. Do you understand? And that is the truth of the matter. Otherwise, how would you be lonely when all these people are around you? Do you understand? And on the other hand, I saw people calling out on Dimwango, asking her to try as much as possible and be close to Rosio. As Mary TV, I say, when it comes to creating friendship, it is two-way. So both of them, if they are not that close, because I don't know. Remember, all these are speculations that are ongoing on the YouTube streets. If they're not close, what they should do is to work on creating this bond, or rather establishing the bond. Because if you have a sister-in-law that you're so free with, it will be very easy for you to, approach them, and especially when you feel you are kind of emotional and such. There are those people that called out on Congrats Mom to pray for the daughter-in-law. I saw people asking Rosio to create friendship with people around the village, which is also very, very crucial and important. So many times Rosio has come out to say she is an introvert. She likes, keeping a small circle. Do you understand? But at the end of the day, she needs friends within her reach. I've heard people being advised, like when you relocate to a new country, find a community that you will belong to. I've seen so many people being advised that, because if you don't identify a community or a group of friends, it will be very hard for you to survive. I've seen women that have been married abroad, because I know some that are very close to me. They are friends that we went to school with, some are relatives and such. Once they relocated, they felt what Rosio is feeling in the first years of their marriages. But after establishing a community, after, creating friendship, the loneliness gradually started going away. Because you have people, let's say people that are like-minded, and you can reach out to them. If they have activities, you can go and do some activities with them, and you become part of them. Therefore, you won't be lonely. You can also look at matters to do with religion. If you are a religious person, let's say, for example, like myself, I'm a Catholic, a Roman Catholic. If I go to a new community, I must ensure that I get in touch with Catholics. Do you understand? Because it will be very easy for me to get into their system. I'm so used to being a Catholic, I know everything about it. And I believe it won't be different. If I go to Rome, it will be the same. If I go to America, it will be the same. If I go to Zambia or wherever, it will be the same. And that is one way of creating a community. Do you understand? So Rosio should come out of her cocoon and identify friends that she can bond with in Nyabohanse. Friendship is very important. Yay! My people, you let me know, unless I'm the one that is so crazy. I believe in friendship. A person that I can call and tell her anything that is, ongoing in my life. A person that I can tell, like, including my most embarrassing moments. Do you understand? A person that will advise you. A person that will tell you the truth. A person that will never sugarcoat anything. That is who a friend is. And therefore, also needs to identify people there. Maybe one or two friends, depending on how she will want it to be. I saw a lot of people advising the commando himself. After all, he's the man, right? He's the man in question. Our guy, the commando, should learn. He married, or rather got into a relationship with a woman from a totally different background in terms of culture. Do you understand? Let us assume he married a woman from Kenya. It would be very easy for them to bond. Do you understand? But once you marry a person from a different culture, guys, number one, for us Africans, we are not touchy-touchy. I don't know. But we try. Excuse me, we are not touchy-touchy. That is not like a common practice here. I've never seen my dad hug my mother. All these years, I've never. There's a way in which we express affection, but not like the people from the West. And once you two people come together, one is from Africa, the other one is from the West, you need to unlearn your culture and relearn so that you can peacefully coexist. All those messages that were being directed to Marwa, it is just because of that. He needs to be more affectionate and express it openly. He married a Mzungu. And you know, for them, they express their emotions openly. They like holding hands. You know, pecks here and there. Do you understand? Hugs here and there and such. But for us Africans, it's kind of different. In fact, why am I talking about Africa? For us Kenyans, it's very different. Do you understand? And therefore, when you marry a person from another culture, and especially from another race, you need to compromise a lot of, things. Otherwise, it will be very hard for that marriage to grow. Because if this is a woman who is crying, you are the man. Why can't you go and reassure her? Hold her hands. Tell her it's gonna be okay. Because that is what, will make her to calm down. And she'll know she's not alone. Those are the things that Rosio is asking for. Do you understand? They are totally different. I hope Mauro is going to learn. Do you understand? I hope he's going to learn. And he's going to kinda try to listen to Rosio. I said the other time, and some guys came for me. The only solution is not that villa. The only solution is for them to construct another house. And this house will be strictly a family house. Do you understand? No visitor should be allowed there. If people want to visit Marwa, they should go to the villa. Let Rosio have her own home that is well secured. Do you understand? The people that should be going to that home should be only family members. The villa has so many visitors. And that is who, that is the personality of Marwa. The only solution will be for him to secure another home for Rosio. I know, of course, it is expensive. Don't think that I'm talking without common sense. I know it is expensive, but I still know Marwa can do it. He can. So that Rosio can have her own space. If she wakes up and wants to walk all over the house in a bikini, she'll be very comfortable because there are no strangers in the house. Do you understand? If she wants to wake up today, just go sit somewhere there at the balcony and do her stuff. Without any interference, she'll be able to do that. Baby Maisha will be, free to move around without unnecessarily, people holding him here and there. That is what Rosio wants. Remember, that is not what Marwa wants. Marwa wants to welcome everyone in the villa. And that is the truth of the matter. The villa is open. There is a time I think they had agreed, they should not let people into the villa. But we still kept on seeing people coming to the villa. So it is quite sad because it's kinda, the two cannot come to some sort of agreement and they stick to it. And especially from Marwa's sides. And that is why I always say, yes, we can't be perfect. Therefore, Marwa is not perfect. But those people that are very close to him should keep on talking to him and let him know he has a family. He has a wife. He has a son. They should be his priority. Do you understand? And he should learn to work on embracing the emotions of Rosio. Naturally women, we are so emotional. But if you are there crying and your man is not listening to you, or maybe they don't care, they give you that attitude of, I don't care. Guys, it can be so bad. You saw Rosio, it was so sad. Guys, I felt for her. The whole video, you would see the way, like, if you have maybe not watched, go watch. In the whole of that video, Rosio was gloomy. She was very, very gloomy. Very, very gloomy. And it really pained my heart. Because this is a lady who is far away from her own family members. She's crying, asking her man, do this, please. Can you listen to me? Will you? Shall you? Why wouldn't you, listen to this woman? Do you understand? So my guys, I don't know what to think about this part to do with Rosio. Let me know here at the comment section. Drop your comment. Don't forget to like the video. You can also subscribe to this channel if you feel like doing so. You can also check my membership and pick a pack that is pocket friendly. Thank you so much and goodbye for now.